Alright, so this tray I started in the house. This tag will tell us that it started 14th of February, and they're a small white turnip, gets about the size of a tennis ball, and the Japanese version of them is called Tokyo Cross. They're not like the American red turnip, but they're a good turnip. So I started this tray in soil blocks in the house on the 18th of February. Today is the 4th of March. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to transplant them into this raised bed, which is covered with a material that allows light and rain to go through, but it does increase the soil temperature some 4 to 5 degrees. And so being that this turnip is a cold weather crop, I believe we'll be okay. So now let's get started doing our transplanting. What I gotta do is remove the row cover so we can get in to do our planting. This ground has been prepared with some natural fertilizer that I mixed up, and with some of the potting mix that I mixed up, and so it's ready now for the growing season. So first thing we want to do, get our tray over here. Need something to lift the soil block out with. And so that's the way a soil block comes out of that. You can see that it's got some roots that are starting to come out and around, so that's fine. So what we're going to do is we'll just dig a small hole, just enough to get that down to the ground level. Okay, we get our next one here. Now this one happens to have 2 in it. I'm going to leave it. You could pull one out. We'll see about later. So what I'm going to do down here is I'm going to put it about maybe 4 to 6 inches apart from the other one there. So we'll dig a little hole, set it down in there, bring the dirt back up around it, and we'll get one more. Alright, now this one only has a single plant in it, so that's alright. So we'll go over here with this one, about 4 inches down in there. Every once in a while, if I see a small rock, I'll throw it out, and leaves and things like that. Alright, so there is the beginning of this planting of this tray on early spring vegetables. So let's continue with this planting of this down to the first, down there. You can see we've got 2 rows. So now we're going to come back and we're going to move over a little bit and plant the next rows. So now we've got the first section, I'll call it, down to the next fabric support. We've got it planted, and so we'll move on into the next section and keep on planting them. Now we've got down to where we've taken out most of the soil blocks that has just 1 or 2 plants in it, and when you get down to them, there are some that have multiple plants in it. And I just wound up putting too many seeds in that cell block or soil block. But what you do is you just carefully, very carefully, if I can get one here started out, get a hold of it like that, just kind of carefully tease it apart. Then you got this plant, and then you got what's left, which we'll tease them apart. And then instead of digging a hole to plant this, mostly I'll probably just stick my finger down there and waller out a little bit of hole and put it in there, and then we're ready to go. Alright, so let's get on with that. Alright, so now we've got the whole tray planted, and just kind of scan up here so you can see what we're looking like. Probably about maybe 10 feet of this bed is used for that purpose. Now those that I teased apart, they probably will suffer a little bit of transplant shock. But those that the soil block was intact, even if it was 1 or 2 plants in it, they won't even know they've been moved. They'll just keep right on growing. So that's the beauty of soil blocks. Get you a jump on starting things and transplants right into the bed. And then I'm going to plant some other things on down to the other end of this bed, so I'm not going to cover it over with row cover right now, but I will before I'm all. And now we've got most of the bed planted. We got the white Japanese turnips up on this end. In the middle we got a few plants of romaine lettuce, and then beyond that I got set out a few green onions. So that's probably it for right now in this bed. So we'll get back and cover this bed. Well, I need to come back in and water it right now, and then after that I'll come back and cover it over.